What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency and blockchain education. If you guys are brand new to the channel, we do a small little giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is Trey Francis. Thanks so much for commenting on the previous video. Trey just sent you a Wax NFT. Now, what we're doing on the channel now in 2021, because NFTs are so hype, everybody's talking about them, is if you comment on this video with your Wax wallet address, I will pick a winner on the next video and drop you an exclusive Wax NFT. And you can collect more NFTs on Atomic Hub, and Wax is a ton of fun and very low cost to transact in. On this episode, I sit down with Michael Wagner, the co-founder and CEO of Stardust. This is a fantastic gaming NFT focused project where players can literally own every component within their game experience with an NFT. The pieces, like the modules on your ship that you're going around in space, you can own virtual land, you can own your crew, and I think that the play to earn concept is wildly underrated right now, with esports being such a pioneering space, big money going behind esports, and virtual worlds being relatively in their infancy. This is an exciting merge of these worlds. Now, talking through it with Michael, we go through some of his background and we learn a little bit more about what's coming with Stardust, because this is a really ambitious project where they have a marketplace, they have all these different aspects to the game that is really going to revolutionize how people play within the game and ownership within the game. Another really exciting part to Stardust is that it's built on Solana. And if you're not familiar with Solana, I did a video on the channel about it previously, but it is a very, very high caliber team, very high throughput, fast transactions, and it is doing an incredible job as a project, really accumulating some powerful projects like Stardust. With Stardust's dual token concept, where there's a governance token and also an in-game currency token being built on Solana, there are a lot of different cool features that can be really built out, like decentralized exchanges and things like that. But Michael goes into this in detail in the interview, talks a little bit about, Stardust, the project being built by a guy named Kanan, who I've met before in the past, and also about the features that Solana is going to be offering for them, and just about the caliber of the team there at Solana and what they're building. One really exciting thing that we wanted to announce is that the project I'm a co-founder of, Grow Your Base, the team has been busting it working on a partnership with Stardust, so we're excited to announce that today. You guys can go and learn more about that on the Grow Your Base memberships. You can learn how you can get access to exclusive NFTs and really get involved in the Stardust ecosystem early on. Now, this is something that we have been working on for a while, and shout out to Lucas out there on the Grow Your Base team for really hustling and getting this really figured out, getting all the details figured out, because these types of partnerships are really powerful for people that are new to the space. They want to learn more about gaming, they want to learn more about ownership through NFTs. And I think that this is a really great project to get involved in now, because they are really early and you're able to learn as they build and grow their community and the project itself. So it's a great experience starting early with a project and following it all the way through to the finish line, because it really makes you feel like you are part of something. So definitely check that out with the link in the description. Without further ado, let's dive right into the conversation here on the channel with Michael about Stardust. What is up, guys? I am here with Michael Wagner, the co-founder and CEO of Stardust. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Steve. How are you, man? Good to be here.
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to dive into this with everything that's going on right now with the NFT space heating up. I'm really eager to dig into this. But before we get into Stardust, let's start with your crypto origin story. How did you get into this space, and what brought you to start Stardust?
Yeah, well, I guess a traditional career, it goes all the way back to really finance, portfolio management, and investment and securities analysis. I got introduced to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies through a good buddy of mine, high school buddy of mine in 2013. He introduced me to this concept of altcoin mining with GPUs. And we grew up in a group of kind of nerdy gamers called the Lanarchists. This was, over the 90s, where high-speed internet really wasn't available. And so our weekends were spent lugging our CRT monitors and big towers over to each other's houses and just drinking Mountain Dew and playing video games all weekend. So this buddy started talking to me about mining altcoins, and it was intriguing to me, one, because I have a finance background and worked in, areas of alternative assets and asset classes. And but more, I guess more than that was just kind of this concept of the ability to generate residual income off of compute power. So, really immerse myself into building out these rigs. I even custom fabricated a few GPU rigs myself to house up to 6 GPUs, and just dropped every dollar into it that I could. This was right at the end of 2013, so really terrible timing with respect to market cycles. Altcoin mining ended up not being very profitable for very long, but it was enough to capture my interest. And the reality is I've just been fully immersed in the space ever since. I never looked back. And in fact, it was probably towards the end of 2015 or sometime over the course of 2016 that I just made the commitment, quit my position in wealth management and moved full time into analyzing, researching, and building within the cryptocurrency space. At the end of 2016, launched my first company in crypto that's called Tokes, and that was a decentralized financial infrastructure platform primarily for the legal cannabis industry within the United States. And we spent a ton of time on that. Had a few nice successes on that, and in the middle of 2020, with the same team that we built Multi-Chain Ventures with, we started laying the groundwork for Star Atlas. So, I mean, that's, it's been an amazing ride. It's crazy to look back over the past 9 years and think about all of the things that have taken place and the evolutions and innovations that I've been a part of. But man, really exciting to be here.
Yeah, love that. And I got in 2013 as well, right before the Mt. Gox bonanza, I guess you could call it, where it was just, I mean, people literally thought it was just over. After that happened, after the hack, it was just, I mean, just a desert. There was just no one was talking about it. It just felt like the end. And I remember that feeling very, very much in that same time frame. But that's really cool that you got into the tinkering side of things, and that's how you got into it. That's really exciting. The mining side of things was a very, very cool part for me as well. But in terms of Star Atlas, I'd love to dig into this a little bit, because this is exciting with, your Mark Cubans of the world, your Chamaths, all these like amazing entrepreneurs talking about NFTs now. Let's talk a little bit about what Star Atlas is.
Sure. Yeah. And, I think we saw this trend. It's so difficult to stay ahead of the curve with the innovation. You can be on top of something 1 month, and the next month there's something entirely new out there that is trendy and hot and talked about, and all of the capital moves in that direction. But we certainly saw the rapid rise in adoption of both DeFi and this NFT asset class over the course of 2020. As I said, the team and I, we are really longtime gamers, and when we were looking for a new opportunity and also assessing what was going on in the existing blockchain gaming space, we saw a few gaps that could be filled. And so, when we talk about Star Atlas, there's at least 3 elements that we should cover. First of one is the first of which is the game concept itself. The second would be the blockchain mechanics and financial incentives. And then really longer term opportunity and third component will be the Metaverse concept. So with respect to the game, the title, what we wanted to set out to do was build out what would be a top quality game, a so-called AAA title quality game that would be attractive to a mainstream audience. We didn't want to go after a niche that is, blockchain gamers. We wanted to go after building out a title that could be playable worldwide. So that was our first objective. We are quite fond of sci-fi and of the space themes. And so that was those were the elements that we're building into this. It is a space exploration, territory control, political conquest style game, similar to like an Earth and Beyond from early days, or EVE Online, Star Citizen more recently. But space themed MMO wherein the player can hop into a spaceship and go explore the universe. We are building the game in Unreal Engine 5 when that comes out later this year, which is going to give us access to some of the highest graphical fidelity ever seen in a game engine. So, fully real-time rendered, cinematic quality, game fidelity. Moving into how do we enhance that experience? Because obviously games are out there that have built around this theme previously. We have this deep background and knowledge and expertise in cryptocurrencies. And so we can do a couple of really cool things with blockchain. The first of which is delivering all of the assets as NFTs to the players, to be purely individually owned. So within our universe, this is, everything from your ship to your crew members, the components and modules that you add to your ship, owning virtual land in the universe, equipment on that land. All of these things are, NFT assets owned by the player. Of course, the in-game tokens, the currencies of the game are crypto native as well. So they're both crypto assets. We have a dual token system in the game, the first of which is Atlas, which is the transactional currency. This is similar to your in-game gold. Best way to put it. You're using that for consumables, for repairing your ship, for refueling your ship, anything that essentially has an operating cost associated with it in game, you'll be spending Atlas currency. Our other token is a governance token called Polis, which is dual purposed itself. Within the Atlas universe, it gives players the ability to politically control regions of space and do things like impose taxes on other players that are operating within those zones. So you might own land in a region, but there's a government body that oversees it and will have the ability to tax you or impose fines or set laws and rules. Yeah. Outside of the game, Polis acts more as a DAO-like token wherein the player can actually drive and guide the development decision-making process longer term. So being able to influence things from us as a game development company, such as perpetual inflation rates on the game, or what is the asset issuance rate? What's important with all of these NFTs that we're launching is that they are all finite supply. Now we have some really neat mechanics that lead to deflationary components of both ship destruction and asset destruction, but perhaps we can get on, touch on that a little later. But that, and then even things like they can vote on feature development or, perhaps a ship class that they would like to see released next. So that, that kind of encapsulates Atlas and Polis. And then the other elements that we've built in are direct DeFi components. So NFT marketplaces facilitated through decentralized exchanges. We are building this game on Solana as our layer 1 protocol. Solana has some great benefits in that they are very high transaction throughput, highly scalable network, extremely low transaction costs. And then, the team is a high caliber team that's actually building out the network. And I would say beyond that, the ecosystem and adoption that we've seen within Solana is very impressive. And so that was important to us. But building on Solana gave us immediate access into Serum, decentralized exchange and decentralized exchange API. So we're using that for things like the NFT marketplace, liquidity pools for both Atlas and Polis, and even going so far as liquidity pools on user assets, wherein they can essentially securitize the NFTs that they own, place these into the pools, and then generate some form of yield or otherwise income off of those assets. Yeah. The metaverse concept is really longer term for us. It's a pretty big topic, so maybe we put that one on hold for right now, just see if you have any other questions.
Got it. Yeah. In terms of I'm really fascinated by, Solana. I've done a video or two on them in the past and talked about them multiple times. I think it's a great protocol. I'm not as familiar with the Serum concept. So with that example, I'd love to just high level dig into that a little bit in terms of if I have an in-game asset, I could go to this NFT marketplace that's within Star Atlas and I could get some yield off of it. Like I could kind of stake it. Is that how you're looking at it? Or is it with the Polis token that's kind of like the delegated proof of stake way of doing this governing concept? Is that what I put on the marketplace to stake? How do you see that working out?
Yeah, kind of all of the above. So the NFT marketplace, by the way, will be directly built into the game via the user interface. So we want to make this as simple as possible. Same thing with respect to attracting a mainstream audience to blockchain, by the way. this should be an entertaining and enjoyable gaming experience first and foremost. We shouldn't convolute it or make it confusing with blockchain, right? The blockchain all happens on the back end, and it's kind of directly embedded into the game client. The NFT marketplace wherein players can exchange directly with one another, it will feel just like another part of the game experience. When you go to the trading deck and you start to make these trades with other players, it just so happens that the settlement of all of those transactions exists on the Solana blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of components for both staking and yield generation. For example, if you just own the Atlas or Polis token, you can stake that, and there will be yield elements associated with simply staking your token, rewards that get paid out as a component of our inflation curve. You can also go in and create liquidity pools yourself, just like we're seeing right now in a lot of these DeFi protocols, wherein you can do an Atlas and Polis pair, and if you're contributing equal proportion of each of those to the pool, you're going to be getting trade fees, and you're also going to be getting some of the governance token or Atlas token as a reward for providing liquidity. And then the other component that's really cool is this concept of securitization of your NFTs. There are a few protocols that are working specifically on this, but the idea is that NFTs naturally are they're non-homogeneous, right? That's by definition, they are heterogeneous assets. So it's not as simple to put multiple NFTs into a single pool and have them traded against one another. However, we can put multiple NFTs together into a pool, determine a kind of a fair value for those, and allow that to, in a way, become an instrument that people trade against. So either that and or the ability to loan out your NFTs to other players if they're not in use, which I think is really compelling. It's almost, it allows the player who owns this asset to monetize the value of that even when they're not playing. So in our case, we want to deliver a true play to earn gaming experience, wherein if you're earning tokens in game, if you're earning Atlas from your gameplay, you can extract that transcends the game universe, and you can sell that on exchanges and get whatever your national currency is back. But what happens to the assets when you're not playing, because you're not going to be spending all the time in this game? I think it's a really cool idea to allow them to effectively loan that out on chain, so someone else can use it to earn income in the game and yet pay a portion to the asset owner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the play to earn concept. I think that's truly disruptive to things. Like, I often use the example of Fortnite skins, if Fortnite becomes irrelevant in 5-10 years from now, those skins just fizzle away with the game itself. And I think these types of play to earn concepts are brilliant. And it's gonna, when you were doing the Lanarchist many years ago, I think it's a cool way of saying, like, back then, if you would have had the play to earn concept, some of your friends could have been career gamers at this point, if you're making that much off of these games. And I love that. Just the economics around that is really fascinating. So you got three moving parts, from what I understand. You got the Atlas token, the Polis token, which is really cool because it's kind of like a delegated proof of stake way of governing, which I think is cool. And then you have the marketplace. In terms of what stage you guys are at now, because that's a lot to bite off. Mm-hmm. How big is the team, and where are you guys distributed out about?
Yeah, I want to be very transparent. We are still early stages of development on this. As I said, we just conceptualized it mid last year, went through all of our pre-production planning. So we have great roadmap and strategy behind us in terms of how to execute on this. But we really did just break ground on it in January. Now, we went from a team of 5 people in December working directly on the concept to about 38 people currently. So we've scaled quite a bit over the last 2 months. This is predominantly on the art and design side. As you can imagine, what we're building here is very art intensive. And so that's where the majority of our investment is going, is developing out those features. The roadmap ahead of us consists of what will effectively be an auction series coming up in April. The auction series is, this is tapping into the interest in NFT collectible art. And what we'll be doing is launching there's still some internal discussion around the exact strategy, but it is likely to be one-of-one digital art collectibles launched once per week for 14 weeks. Now, each one of these collectibles is going to introduce a component of the lore of Star Atlas. So the origins of this universe, how we came to be and where we're at today. After the 14-week auction series, that takes us up to July, where we will have a mini game experience deliverable for players. So this is not the fully immersive 3D version of the game that's built in Unreal Engine, but it is an in-browser experience that allows the player to engage with numerous gameplay loops and, perhaps more importantly, be able to participate in the financial incentives that we have developed out via blockchain.
Got it.
And then, so from there, it's another 9 months to 1 year before we have the first module of a 3D gaming experience delivered. So sometime in Q1, Q2 of 2022. And then with respect to the team, we're a highly decentralized organization ourselves. We have, employees in either 13 or 14 countries around the world. No real centralized operations, no centralized office where everybody works out of. And so it's, relatively large team to date, but working from everywhere around the world, which, by the way, is really cool because we get a lot of cultural influence from all of these different designers. And I think that that's cool. We're really going to be able to capture kind of the vision of people from everywhere.
Nice. I like that. The culture from developers and designers from all over. That's great. Adding culture to it. That's a cool thing. So the final question I have is about Stardust. Had the pleasure of meeting Kanan at Stardust and was curious, what your experience has been using it. I think it's like a back-end management platform, kind of like Engine as far as I remember it. What's that been like for you guys?
Yeah, Kanan is amazing. And really looking forward to working more with him going into the future. In fact, Stardust was one of the reasons that we also strongly considered Solana when we were selecting a protocol to build on. And somewhat coincidental or serendipitous that we had, there's all these space themes, by the way. Solana has kind of a vaporwave or kind of cyberpunk feel to it, which I loved. But they're building out Wormhole, it's delivered now, which is the interoperability, the bridge between Solana and Ethereum, space theme. We're Star Atlas, and then there's Stardust over here, who's building out a back-end, blockchain implementation for game developers. So for this initial phase, we are building out the blockchain components ourselves, but we are working closely with Kanan on how we can deliver a managed blockchain experience going into the full game development in the future. We're just coordinating based on where they are in their development and where we are in our development. And, we want to have those two intersect at some point in the near future.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, those are all the questions that I have for you, Michael. You've gone from 5 people in December to now, almost 40 people, which is really impressive. I'm excited to follow the project. Where can people go and learn more about Star Atlas?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some amazing encouragement from the community and just very rapid growth. Definitely take a look at us or check us out on Twitter. It's Star Atlas Game. You can join the Star Atlas Discord, or you can join the Star Atlas Telegram channel. That's where most of our information is coming out currently. We have announcement channels in both, but if you haven't seen it yet, we have some really cool art concepts that are being dropped regularly on both Twitter and in Telegram. So would highly encourage you to do it to see those and connect with us directly in Discord.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show, Michael.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
That is it for my interview here with Michael, the co-founder and CEO of Star Atlas. It was a lot of fun talking to him, really easygoing guy, and it was cool to learn more about his story and his background. And it just is an exciting project. I love the ambition of it. I love the goal of, doing both virtual land and this kind of outer space concept where you're owning all the different modules on your ship and you're owning all these different components within the game. Love it. And I love the emphasis on that. So that is it for this episode. The links to everything will be in the description below. So slap a like if you guys like Star Atlas, you like the channel, you want to see more interviews like this. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.